Welcome everybody to the Sacred Heart Baseball Coaches Show. This week we're joined by the pitching coach assistant Wayne Mazzoni, and well, let's talk some pitching. And we talked a lot about Cody Kursky with good reason. His numbers are ridiculous. In the starting rotation, Jeff Stoddard right there with him as well. But let's go to the bullpen, because that really can make or break a team. And right now you got two guys in Dan Wirtz and James Cooksey that are just pitching lights out and giving you solid innings, appearance after appearance, giving you many opportunities to win some ball games.
Yeah, I think for the last 4 or 5 years we've been very starter heavy, going with the starters as long as possible, and sometimes holding our breath when we handed the ball off. This year, having Wirtz and Cooksey in their roles is tremendous. So the starters come out with confidence, and we go to the pen with confidence. And I tell you, I could say just such great things about how those guys go about their business the same way all the time, regardless of whether they're going to be used or not used. They're just great kids, and it showed. And
the hard work that they put in too to get, and that's maybe not getting their numbers called much at the beginning of their careers. Cooksey, he great voice. He was our public address announcer his freshman year.
Right.
And now he's one of the go-to guys in some of the biggest moments in ball games all year. Just what is it that has allowed them to get to this point and be so effective?
It's interesting because neither were tremendously highly recruited. Both recruited walk-ons here, but what they do is they know what they're about. They know their style. They don't try to be anything other than what they are, and they have a routine. So every day they do their same throwing, their same workouts, their same sprinting. I don't ever have to tell them what to do. You always look, and they're buddies, and they do it together. So they're on their own, they're in the same program, and it's great. Literally every outing they've had, they've been lights out.
We do have to talk about the starting pitching because it's been excellent. You got 4 very quality starts over the weekend, and the opportunity to sweep FDU, finally getting to play some conference game, and you get 4 wins. You're 4-0 in NEC play. So obviously pitching is what's gotten your program to the success it's had the last few years, and it's right there again at the starting rotation this year.
Yeah, it's interesting because Kursky, who has been tremendous, didn't have his best outing, battled through, and still was great. Stoddard's been consistent about every time out. Foley, who's still figuring the whole thing out as a freshman. We've really not used freshmen in the starting rotation. And then this past weekend, Leiningen started, did not pitch well. We got down and we came back, and to his credit, and he wasn't always this way when he was younger, right after he got taken out and he was frustrated, he was up on the fence cheering for Nick Morrissey, who pitched great and is now going to take his spot in the starting rotation this weekend. So,
as the head of the pitching staff, it seems, and I get to travel around with the team and see this, they are a tight group. The team itself is always got great chemistry at Sacred Heart Baseball, but the pitching, it's almost a brotherhood, and it must be fun as the pitching coach to watch that develop through the years.
Pitchers are weird. I probably fall in that category a little bit too. Here's what's good about it. Here's what's tough about it. The tough part is there's only one guy that has the ball at a time. So we have 13 pitchers. One has the ball. Somewhere along the line, the other guys want to be on the mound, but we can only pitch one guy at once. But everyone knows you need a staff for the season. So we need 4 starters on a weekend. We need relievers. We have midweek games, and just the way last year's tournament was, we played 5 games in a short stretch, and you need everybody. So they know that everyone's needed, and they also realize that even the guy who's pitched the least amount is still a quality pitcher on this team, and is a good pitcher, deserves to be at this level.
Really is kind of weird how it all plays out, because at the beginning of the year you go to your southern trip, play every day, everyone's getting innings, then you come back to the Northeast, you battle the weather for a couple of months, you get to that tournament time, you play all those games in the amount of days, and it kind of reverts back to how it was at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So a challenge and a juggling act to get everybody the innings and keep them fresh. But all right, that's a lot of pitching. I don't know if you know a whole lot about hitting. But
I know enough about hitting. Yes.
Let's talk about the sticks and putting up runs. Also the way that you guys run the bases this year. I mean, it seems that you're going to take a chance every time, put pressure on the defense, and it's a fun brand of baseball to watch. How fun is it for you in the dugout to see guys keep the line moving, so to speak, get on base, and then do what they've been doing on the base path?
Well, I'll tell you this, on the base running, it's been a point of emphasis the last few years that every day at practice, the day doesn't go by where we don't do base running. And I'll give Coach G all the credit for that, for making it part of practice, focusing on it, And from the get-go this year, we ran the bases tremendously well. It was actually an advantage that we had even over these southern teams who are outdoors all the time. So, that's been great. Offensively, earlier in the year, we definitely struck out a lot, and I think it took a while to go from indoors to outdoors. Now, everyone kind of knows their part. We get on, we get over, we get them in, some bunts here and there. It's not always perfect. Sometimes it's ugly. With innings, we get mowed down, but before the game's over, we find our groove, and we've done a nice job. So hopefully that continues, but the offense has been solid.
Coming into this weekend, it's NJIT, non-conference again, before conference games next weekend. Finally, Sunday, 25 games in, we have the home opener at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. How nice is it going to be to get back on the field, go down to Newark, but also get to the ballpark at Harbor Yard and wear the home whites?
It's good. Actually, that's a great point. We've not put those on yet. It'll be great to get there. Unfortunately, at the moment, the way it's been, we just haven't even practiced there. So the first game of the season will be the first time we've entered the field in the spring. It'll be great to be at home, not to have to travel. On the same token, on the road, there's less distractions. You don't have to manage a lot of the operations. You just show up and play ball. It'll be exciting to be there, and it's 4 games in over 2 days, which is a lot of baseball. 2 doubleheaders in a row. The Newark Park is fantastic. Interestingly, looking at the numbers on NJIT, they've hit 12 home runs and they've let up 7. That's 19 home runs. We have hit, I believe, 3 on offense, or actually it's probably 5 because of the FDU series, and let up 2. So our numbers are totally different than theirs. So either it's the park is going to let up some home runs, or they got some guys that could swing it. We'll find out. All
right, we will find out. Always good to talk some baseball, Maz. Thanks for the time.
Randy, always a pleasure to be around you, buddy.
All right, well,
high five it on
we're going to high five that one. What a guy, huh? He's swell. And he and the Pioneers will be in action Saturday, again in Newark. We have the call for you on the home opener, doubleheader against NJIT Sunday from the ballpark at Harbor Yard with Sports Information Director Jim Sheen and myself. Hope you join us then.